Iverson leads Georgetown against Austin Crozier and the Friars, who tonight face a juggernaut. Georgetown's been a team of many personalities this season, but none as dominant as Allen Iverson. The sophomore's atop the conference charts in steals and scoring. Many call him the best in the land. He's led the Hoyas to 4 straight wins as they press toward the Big East tournament. Georgetown's hitting its stride at the perfect time. Tonight, they apply their patented pressure on Providence. Georgetown Hoyas have won 4 straight over top 25 teams. Providence tonight playing for its NCAA life. Welcome to the Civic Center in Rhode Island. I'm Mike Tirico. Must win and bubble, the 2 most overused college basketball words for the next couple of weeks, but they truly apply to Providence here tonight, and let's show you why. The Friars have all the qualities of a bubble team. 15 wins, 500 in their conference, their RPI ranking among the other bubble teams, and they are closing well after a 1-5 start in conference. I worked the game tonight with Derek Dickey. And Derek, in a must-win situation for Providence, you don't want to be facing Allen Iverson in the Hoyas.
Well, Allen Iverson, Michael, is one of the most disruptive players in the country. The quickest player I've ever seen. He steals the ball about 4 times a game. He runs the floor extremely well. When he gets the ball in his hands, automatically he's going to turn it on and look to try to put it in the basket. But on the defensive end, 5 guys every time he gets the ball, look in the circle, respect where he has the ball. He's one of the players, Pete Gillen told me this afternoon, he's going to continue to rotate players on. He's going to try to keep them in front, slow them down a little bit so they can have a chance.
He gets the kind of attention you used to when you were playing
Just
at Cincinnati.
like that.
It's the only meeting of the year between these 2 teams, and it's always rocking when John Thompson plays against his alma mater. Georgetown Providence in the Big East. We'll tip it off when you come back on The Deuce. Hey, baby.
The cheese.
Sold out inside the Civic Center, downtown Providence, Rhode Island. An immense game for the Friars' NCAA hopes. Georgetown looking to continue its great role. Here is the arid, extra dry starting lineup. You know about Iverson. He's joined in the backcourt by Victor Page. The freshman may be hitting the wall a little bit. He's only scored double figures 1 of his last 7 games, despite averaging 11.7 per game. For the Friars of Providence College, it's his night. Michael Brown, the lone 4-year senior scholarship player on Pete Gillen's team, second in the Big East in 3-point shooting at 46%. Pete Gillen, in his second year here at Providence, 32-22, took his team to the NIT last year, hoping for the NCAA bid this year. And you know the guy on the other sideline, John Thompson, All-American here at Providence College, class of 1964, part of the all-tournament NIT team that won the 63 championship here in Providence. Always a good game when his team comes back to Rhode Island. Derek, this is the only meeting, as I said, between these 2 teams since the Big East has gone the 7-6 format. Even though they're in the same conference, this is their only meeting. As you see, it's tough for Georgetown here, split the last 10 games in Providence. And this crowd seems to feed off the enthusiasm of having John Thompson back in the building.
No question about it. John is a man who just commands respect. He's just one of the players, one of the former players, when he comes back to Providence, that the fans, the entire organization gets pumped up because he's in the building. And he was a tremendous player when he played here at Georgetown. Career-wise, 19 points and 13 rebounds a game, a terrific inside scorer. But when he brings his team back here, believe me, the Friars will be ready for this one.
Another former Friar coming back. Get a look at Eric Williams, who's now at the Boston Celtics. Williams, the leading scorer on this team last year. With the Celtics having a night off, he's averaging nearly 11 points a game in his first season in Boston. So everyone's out on senior night. You leave nothing in the tank when it's your last home game, and it's one that you desperately need for the tournament.
Players always have a tendency sometimes in a game like this to get hyped up a little bit too much. So don't be surprised if we see a couple of air balls or maybe some balls thrown up a little bit too high here on the last home game of the season for the Friars.
This guy has been nothing short of sensational. Hope you were with us on ESPN on Big Monday 8 days ago when Iverson put on a clinic against Connecticut, handing the Huskies their first Big East loss of the season. Tom Lopes, Joe Mingle, the umpires. Ted Valentine, the lead referee, to toss it at center between Ruben Garces and Jerome Williams. Hoyas in the dark. Friars in the home white. Tip to Georgetown, and the next jump ball will go to the Friars. Iverson quickly finds Boubacar Al, not known for his offense.
Talking with Pete Gillen today, he said it's going to be important for his team to rebound defensively. Limit the Hoyas to just one shot on their offensive end because they out-rebound their opponents by over 8 rebounds a game.
Garces misfires. Harrington pulls away the Georgetown rebound. Here's Victor Page, the freshman guard. Harrington the rebound. This is where he scores most of his points, but he travels.
That's one of the offensive rebounds that Georgetown is able to come up with. They're going to continue to crash the offensive board. And if the Friars can come down with their defensive rebounds, they can pick their spots when they want to attack on the offensive end.
Watch very closely how they break the pressure, which is always priority one when you're playing the Hoyas.
No question about it. They are going to force you into their style, up-tempo, just so they can try to force you into another turnover.
Austin Crozier. First offensive option for this team, averaging 15.8 per game, leads the team in scoring and first on the board.
Crozier's coming off a big game, 19 points against Notre Dame.
Away from the ball, they got Victor Page for an offensive foul. First foul of the game goes on the Hoyas.
Well, the Hoyas have not played exceptionally well on the road. They're only 5-4 this season in the Big East on the road, but they have a tremendous home record, have not lost a game at the USARC Arena.
Trying to close a perfect season over the weekend against Villanova. In transition, Derek Brown and a foul.
This is exactly what Pete Gillen wanted. He wanted his team to come out, take control of this game right away, and try to find some easy baskets, especially in transition. Take a look at Shamgod as he brings the ball up the court, looking to advance it every time, and Derek Brown does not hesitate, right in rhythm, taking the shot and the foul.
God Shammgod, the point guard for the Friars, setting up DB. Derek Brown, junior college transfer, 12th in the conference in scoring. Garces nearly had the garbage follow. 4-0 Friars. 80 seconds in, now 90. Here in the Civic Center.
Allen Iverson is so much fun to watch when he's got the ball in his hand. He's able to change direction. He shoots the threes. He takes it to the basket.
Battling for the rebound, a foul on Providence. And Michael Brown gets the opening assignment trying to guard Iverson.
One thing about Iverson in the half court is that he's always trying to create something. You're going to see a high screen set for him, and he's going to try to work off this screen that Jerome Williams is going to try to set, and he's coming off looking for a shot almost every time. Othello Harrington steps out, but he misses that outside shot. He's not a great outside shooter. He wants to get to the basket.
He's just 5 of 18 shooting in his last game. Page missed. Williams to follow. He'll go to the line.
This is Georgetown style, man. They're going to put it up on the board. They're going to crash offensively. They're going to get 2, 3 shots at the basket just by out-hustling their opponent.
There's a problem for Providence out of the gate. John Thompson has a big, powerful team, and Ruben Garces has picked up 2 quick personal fouls.
You know, Garces has a history of that. He will pick up 3 or 4 fouls in bunches, and he may have to come out of the game. Pete Gillen will have to go into his bench early. He's only got 10 scholarship players over there.
Jerome Williams at the line will get 1 more. He's a 59% free throw shooter. As a team, the Hoyas not a particularly good shooting team, 63% from the line on the season.
Now, you and I talked before the game how soft these rims were. The ball's not going in. What's up with that?
You can hear the rims on every shot. The senior.
Work the ball inside. They can control this game.
Michael Iverson about 45 feet away. Pushed them all the way out to this play. Harrington inside. Shamgod will push, but it's 3-on-3. Crozier spots the open Derek Brown. Now on the rebound for the Hoyas. First round comes away. Crozier running ahead of the field.
Here come the Hoyas back.
Georgetown calling timeout on the other end. Couldn't hear the whistle because of the noise. A 20-second timeout for John Thompson.
As soon as the Friars go down to score on the offensive end, you can't turn your back. You can't even settle and celebrate the basket you just made because the Hoyas will bring the ball right back up your back.
Providence leading by 8.
Well, this is an opportunity coming down with defensive rebounds. Pete Gillen said he's got to have this. You see Shamgod bringing the ball up the court. If they get it up, they will have a chance because Georgetown will send 4 or 5 guys to their offensive glass.
Derek, you mentioned Georgetown did not shoot well in the Boston College game. It has continued 0 for 7 from the field for John Thompson's team. That's obviously why he burns the 20 with 3 minutes gone by.
Well, he will go very deep into his bench. He plays 10, 11 players, and what John wants his guys to do is try to score some baskets in transition. Not a very good half-court team, the Hoyas, but they need to get some easy baskets.
They were just 24 of 64, 37% in the win over Boston College by 3 on Saturday. Iverson off on the 3. And here comes Shamgod with a couple of rebounds already from his point guard spot. Crozier obviously not expecting that one to come up short.
Well, Shamgod actually shoots better from three-point range than he does from regular field goal range. He shoots about 34% on both areas, and you certainly would expect your ball handler, your point guard, to have a higher percentage than that from the field.
A little different look for the Hoyas now. That's Jerry Nichols, 25, and Joseph Tuomo to the upper middle of your screen with the ball right now, number 4. In the backcourt for the Hoyas, Iverson moving along the baseline now. Tuomo with a quick first step. Offensive foul called by Ted Valentine.
Excellent defense in the half-court set by Providence. They want to continue to make the Hoyas slow the ball down. Do not let them run the ball up and down the court. If you get them in the half-court set, limit them to 1 shot. Pete Gillen said this is going to give his team a great chance to win.
You see Yaya Ja, the junior, checking in for Othello Harrington as Thompson searches the bench and gets everyone to take their sweats off. Find somebody who can put it in the hole here.
Well, he's going to do that, and Coach Thompson is one of the guys who is not afraid to use 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 players.
Garces follows.
What a big gamble by Pete Gillen to leave Garces in the game with those 2 fouls. He was very close to picking up a third underneath on that offensive rebound, but got it back in the basket.
A 10-point lead in the first 4 minutes. Tuomo for 3. Georgetown still hasn't hit a field goal. And Michael Brown's doing a nice defensive job on Allen Iverson.
We talked about the Hoyas out-rebounding their opponent by 8. The Friars out-rebound their opponent by 7 on the season. So they're another very good rebounding team.
Garces feeling it a little too much. It is 4-on-2 Georgetown. Nichols thought about the 3. Good job by Providence to get back on defense.
But Tuomo was almost in the basket. He had a chance for a layup.
And a travel called on Yaya Ja, but
he's calling a foul out front.
Yep. A correction as the officials, Joe Mingle, Ted Valentine got together, had the travel before the foul. So another Hoya turnover. Official timeout. The Friars by 10 over number 8.
Less than a minute.
Georgetown has opened 0 for 9. The Friars, Derek Dickey, lead by 10.
Well, Pete Gillen wanted to do an excellent job. He wanted to try to rotate defenders on Allen Iverson. He started the game with Michael Brown. Now you're going to see number 12, God Shammgod, who's going to actually mirror Iverson. He's not even looking at the ball. He doesn't even care about that. All he wants to do is keep Iverson in front of him every opportunity.
And that was the near foul that was going to be called, but Ted Valentine, not in your picture there, had a travel on Yaya Ja before that. So after the official timeout, Friar ball plus 10.
Well, if you're the Friars, you don't want to get conservative here. You want to continue to work your offense. Now you're going against the zone. Georgetown's gone to a 2-2-1. Get the ball inside, pitch it back out, but keep moving. You have to move without the ball against the zone.
And Crozier can bust his zone. Misfires on his 3. And it will go to Georgetown. 33 and white is Jamel Thomas, who just checked in for the Friars, as Garces sits down with his 2 personal fouls.
Jamel Thomas is very athletic. He's a player who gets up off the floor extremely quick.
Cousin of Stephon Marbury at Georgia Tech. And if you haven't seen 33 play, keep your eye on him. I think you'll like him. There's John inside, and there's the first field goal for the Hoyas. Yaya John.
Hoyas showed a little bit better patience that time in terms of picking their spots, finding someone in the middle. In a zone defense, you always have holes, but the offense has to be able to find that.
Thomas, nice pass inside. Crozier takes it strong, blocked by Jahidi White. This replaced Harrington in the pivot.
If you're going to go in there, you better be serious. Don't show the ball.
Shot clock did not reset, so it is down to 10. Crozier from 17. Two Friars there. Fortunate to get it back to Michael Brown. But thrown away by Crozier. Boy, Georgetown does that so well, Derek. They get you by the sideline, they trap you. And Pete Gillen, who doesn't take timeouts back home with them, burns a 20 here.
Well, he's just going to try to settle the guys down. They have control of the game right now. Once you get an offensive rebound, you don't panic.
Lead is still 11-3 for the Friars.
You can win tickets to 5 guys.
Providence third in the Big East 7 as we work towards the Big East tournament, which starts a week from tomorrow. Starting on Saturday, it is championship week. So big we need 2 networks for it for the second year. 65 games, 29 conference championships, tip-to-trophy coverage of the ACC and Big East tournaments, and we work towards the selection shows in 12 days. Championship week starts Saturday at noon Eastern on ESPN. Off the inbounds, nice work. Yaya Ja inbounded, and Jahidi White set him up.
What an excellent play call out of a timeout. John Thompson wanted to get something. He wanted to go to his strength, get it inside.
4 in a row, and the Friars see their lead cut to 6.
Derek Brown is getting away with a little bit of a carry of the ball as he's making his attempts to handle the ball in traffic.
Shamgod got a nice screen from Thomas to find some open real estate. Shot clock, as you see, down to 5, and good defense since going to the zone. Georgetown is flustered Providence.
You do not want to dribble inside of a Georgetown zone because they always have hands, feet, elbows, eyes, everything. Biting, scrapping inside.
Iverson for 3. Gets on track, averaging nearly 24 a game. That's his first 3 of the night. And what was a 10-point lead is now 3.
Well, Iverson had a better look. There was a screen set on the high side for him. He was able to go off and look at the basket without a defender in his face.
Oh, there you see the quick hands. It will stay with the Friars. In this zone defense, as we watch Iverson's quick reaction,
just anticipates so well and usually gets his hands on the ball and keeps it out in front of him and keeps it in bounds. That one goes out, but he's going to get a lot of tip-aways.
Where are the open shots in this defense, Derek?
Well, the open shots have to come by getting the ball inside. If Providence wants to try to execute something, someone has to be on the foul line. Get in, pitch it back out, make an extra pass.
Iverson forced that steal, worked around Crozier, and has a chance to maybe tie the game up if Nichols hits this 3. Gets his own rebound.
Great hustle.
Heidi White tried to get it back out, but failed. Back to the Friars.
That's one of the problems you see a lot of young players. When they get an offensive rebound, the first thing they want to do is try to attack again. There was plenty of time. You got a reset of the clock. Pitch it back out, initiate the offense all over again for a better shot.
You mentioned against the zone, get it to a big man to help draw some people. Problem is, their biggest guy is a perimeter player right now, Crozier. Freshman Thomas for 3.
Well, that's another way to do it. Jamel Thomas is a very good outside shooter. He's 41% behind the line, but if you find the open spot, you take the shot when it's there. If it's not, get it inside, draw the defense. Don't put it on the floor, but pitch it back out in 1 or 2 extra passes.
Iverson tried to go back-to-back. Nichols comes away with the board. Young Georgetown team. Nichols is a sophomore. Most experienced player on the floor at this point would be sophomores.
Providence is doing a very good job with keeping the Hoyas on the perimeter. They're not been able to get anything inside.
Good defense here. Shot clock at 10. Long triple for Nichols. Michael Brown worked right Tuomu. No look to Derek Brown.
Excellent ball movement. Nice job by Jamel Thomas. He had a look at the basket, but chose to make another pass. The open shot was inside.
Iverson getting a little frustrated. Comment back to the official as he and Michael Brown bump. Travel. Iverson just frustrated by the senior Michael Brown's good defense. Official timeout. 9:10 gone by. The Friars lead number 8 by 8. Derek, Georgetown scored 7 in a row, but Providence kept its composure.
Well, Pete Gillen called that timeout because he wanted his guys to stay in control. And by staying in control, you find your senior out there. Michael Brown brings the ball up court. And moving without the ball, Derek Brown helped his teammates out by finding the open spot and then converting the basket. That is going to force the Hoyas to now rotate their defense a little different the next time down.
Godwin Owinji, 32, comes into the Hoya lineup. So John Thompson looking for answers here at this point. Brings Owinji in the game, a Nigerian junior college transfer who hasn't played in 3 of the last 4 Hoya games.
I'm sorry, Derek. I'm just going to say he brought O'Connell Harrington back on the court also to try to get some leadership.
Long 3 for Jamel Thomas. Senior night, the freshman leads the Friars with 6.
Find the open space. If you can find the open space and the shot's there, look at the basket, crash the offensive board.
11, the biggest lead for the hometown team. Here's Owinji. We're going to let him prove that he can hit an open shot. Harrington inside over Pete Stabilski.
It's a good job by Harrington to get the ball down low and go with his strength with a little jump hook turning into the basket.
9-point lead, halfway through first half. Mike Tirico, Derek Dickey, Civic Center in Providence. Friars handle the pressure nicely. Thomas, one more time.
God Shammgod did a great job of dribble penetration, a little head fake, take one defender out to the corner, come in, pitch it out again for the open shot.
Friars by 12. Steal by Derek Brown, chased by Tuomu. Rebound, Thomas was fouled. Look out. Thomas came up with the elbows high, and a nice job by Joe Mingle and Tom Lopes to get in there quickly.
What an outstanding hustle play by Derek Brown. Just playing the passing lane. On defense, you always want to be aware of where your man is, but you always want to be aware of where the ball is. This is good hustle. Nice steal. Take the ball. Shortest distance between 2 points. Right to the basket. He misses his basket, but you have to like the hustle. His teammates give him great support following the ball up.
They're trying to sort out the back end of that when the elbow is thrown by the freshman Thomas. And Pete Gillen looks disgusted. I think they're going to do the correct thing and give Thomas a technical here.
No question about it. That indeed is that left elbow right there. That should be a technical foul.
The whistle had blown, and Thomas was annoyed that Owinji still had him wrapped up. And that is the correct call.
No question about it. And that's something that a freshman, he gets involved with the emotion of this game. He now wants to try to get a little space, but in doing so, you have to be under control. And that's one of the things you'll learn. Pete Gillen is one of the greatest teachers in the country of teaching young guys how to become men.
You see something like that in replay, and it looks more vicious and mean-spirited than it may have been. I think that was just emotion of the moment, not a J.R. Reed like we saw on Sunday in the NBA, premeditated.
No question about it. That's just, part of the things that do happen in the game. And as you saw, he just put his elbows up. The play was actually over. Owinji just happened to be there at the wrong place at the wrong time. And the play is called correctly by this officiating crew. They're doing an excellent job.
I want to double check. They made the announcement that the technical foul was on Derek Brown, and that's incorrect. It should be on the freshman Thomas.
No, I agree with that.
And right now, John Thompson is out past the midcourt stripe, discussing with the officials as the Providence assistant coaches try to let them know that a mistake was made.
Coach Thompson gets very animated.
If you're going to get booed when you come back to your alma mater, maybe it should be because you didn't write a check for the alumni fund, but John is not loved here.
Yeah, when you come back with a Hoya uniform on, you're going to get booed also. This is one of the biggest rivalries in the Big East Conference.
So the technical free throws being taken first. Harrington will take them.
Hoyas only have 2 players on their team that shoot over 70% from the free throw line. Harrington's one at 76 and Victor Page at 71%. Everybody else on the team is under 70% from the free throw line.
So Harrington has 4. There was a personal foul on Owinji of Georgetown. However, the technical foul supersedes that. The foul was not in the act of shooting, I don't believe, and I think that's what they want to check.
That's what they want to check. I agree.
Pete Gillen still wants to make sure that they get Jamel Thomas for the technical foul, not Derek Brown, because remember, a technical foul also counts as a personal foul.
It does.
Oh, emotions are boiling tonight. They have finally corrected it. Jamel Thomas gets the technical and the first personal foul. The foul on Owinji was not in the act of shooting, so the Hoyas have a chance for a 4 or 5 point play here. And Thomas gets the steal.
Great hustle by the freshman. He did not get panicked or bothered at all by that last call.
Georgetown trapping in the half court. Wide open, Derek Brown. Owinji the rebound. Look out behind the play, Page and Brown tied up. Little chippy right now. Williams has it stolen by God Shammgod.
Great hands. I heard a lot of slapping going on over there, but we also heard ball and no call was made.
Jason Murdoch in the game gets his first 2. Jason Murdoch, the junior out of Bridgewater, New Jersey, has extended the Friar lead to 12.
Well, Pete Gillen wants to keep as many upperclassmen on the floor so that he has some experience, and guys do not get caught up in the emotion. They want to make the big plays, but they want to make the right play at the right time.
Jerome Williams. Tuomu. Tough shot with Shamgod right next to him. Shamgod gets the rebound and the foul on Owinji.
Joseph Tuomu has forced up a couple of shots, a couple of bad decisions in this game already. He's had 2 or 3 defenders on him, and I'm pretty sure he's taking those shots because he feels like the Hoyas have rebounding position, but not good decisions because the ball's coming off. The Friars are getting the rebound and going down and scoring.
God Shammgod's going to take a seat on Pete Gillen's bench after an excellent opening 12 minutes of this game.
Is now going to move Michael Brown to the point guard position. He played that position last year and put up pretty respectable numbers, but he is a better off guard where he is able to score and see the floor better for his teammates.
There's Austin Crozier, touched tightly by Williams. Zabilski gave him the screen. Murdoch cutting to the goal, but just out of his reach. Official timeout at the right time, too. Everybody needs to just settle down a little bit. Friars doubling up the 8th-ranked Hoyas. Hockey tomorrow, hoops tonight on the Deuce. Providence doubling up Georgetown, doing a good job with the pressure, Derek.
Yes, they are. And Pete Gillen continuing to go to Michael Brown, the only senior out there for the Friars, who makes a very good decision. He's going to go left and right. And once he gets across the line, he's recognizing the press, making a couple of quick passes. And here you see the freshman, God Shammgod, now setting the Big East record for the most assists for a freshman in the conference.
Now 111 assists in conference play for Shamgod, breaking the record of Dwayne Pearl Washington, who set it 12 years ago in 83-84.
Averaging over 7 assists a game in Big East play.
Page may have walked. Crozier got the rebound. Biggest lead of the night for the Friars at 12 with the ball.
Friars are doing an excellent job defensively on Allen Iverson. They're having at least 1 or 2 defenders come at him, not letting him run up and down the court. That's the key to containing the Hoyas.
He has just 3 points. Pete Zabilski lost it on the way up. Here come the Hoyas, 3-on-3. Boubacar out. First points for the sophomore of North Carolina via Senegal.
Victor Page setting the tone off the steal, pushing the ball up court.
Michael Brown's doing a nice job with the pressure. Zabilski will go to the line. Freshman Jamel Thomas with a great look.
You said he was going to be exciting when he came in the ball game, and he makes some things happen. He's looked for that outside shot, made a couple of threes, and when he's coming down this time, now the Hoyas are going to react to him, and he makes an excellent no-look pass inside.
Checking into the Hoya line. Pete Zabilski at the line for the Friars to shoot.
Georgetown Georgetown foul was on Bubakar Al, his second. Here's Pete Zabilski. One more free throw for the 66% shooter. Zabilski, 4 starts last year, 4 starts this year. 6'10", the most size that Gillen can bring off his bench. You need him in a game like this because of the size of the Hoyas.
Yeah, you certainly do. And still doesn't have a lot of American experience. He's here from Warsaw, Poland, and learning the American style of play. But to learn it in the Big East Conference, man, that's even a bigger challenge.
Zabilski makes them both, and he'll take a seat on the bench. Ruben Garces with the 2 personal fouls comes back in. A good 5 or 6 minutes that Gillen's able to get out of Zabilski. By 12, Iverson and Page, the starting backcourt back in. Crozier knocked that away from Harrington.
Good defense once again by the Friars inside.
Page open for 3, first points of the night for the freshman.
Victor Page is another player with a lot of flash and flair who likes to float inside. He wants to put the ball on the floor, go to the basket. Not a great perimeter shooter.
Down back in that zone, but they are so active out of the zone. Certainly never passive. Michael Brown, the senior, and Jason Moore out the backcourt. Thomas, Garces, and Crozier up front. Garces just off the bench. Got the rebound, and the reset with Michael Brown. Crozier for 3. Rebound, Garces.
Excellent job on the offensive glass by the Friars. Not only to get 1, 2, but they got 3 shots at the basket. Kept it alive, and Ruben Garces gets the tip.
Damon Jackson tried to feed Harrington. Last touch, Georgetown. Hoyas out of sync offensively throughout the first 14 minutes.
Well, in the 2 meetings these teams had last year, Georgetown won both. They won here, and they also won down at Georgetown. But the games were decided by a total of 3 points. So they always play each other very, very close.
Hoyas ready to turn up the pressure a notch, and it works. Harrington with the left hand. O'Fella, the lefty had 6.
Well, you know the Hoyas are going to get some steals. They're going to get their hands on a lot of tip balls. You have to be patient bringing the ball up court.
Shamgod back in the game in the backcourt with Michael Brown, who shoots 3. A little flat-footed, but that's his normal shot if you haven't seen him much. And a foul as Harrington pulled down the rebound.
Harrington, people say that he has really lost a little bit since Allen Iverson has come to school, but O'Fella's still putting up pretty consistent numbers. He's still right around 12 points and 6 rebounds a game and does a terrific job. He's a Hoyas leading shot blocker also.
Swollen back in the game for the Hoyas. Here is Harrington working over Crozier. Boy, Garces just shoved him from behind. Last touch, Hoyas.
John Thompson is not happy about this no call inside. It's starting to get a little physical down inside. This is an excellent pass over the top. Harrington catches it in traffic and in trying to make that turn. Look at Crozier just holding his own in there, not giving any ground.
Letting him play. Wow. Pete Gillen takes the first of his 3 timeouts. His team's lead is down to 9. Derek, Georgetown seems to have notches of pressure, and this may be 4th gear.
Well, this is what they want to do. They feed off of their defense. When they force a turnover, they force up almost 22 turnovers a game. They let that ignite their offense. They also come up with almost 13 steals a game. You see Harrington getting the ball, dunking it in the basket, but the next time down, they're going to turn up their pressure once again, trying to force another tip away.
10 forced turnovers by the Friars, not the Hoyas. That number usually goes in the other direction. 2 more seconds to get it over midcourt. They do, and barely avoid an 8th turnover.
Hoyas style basketball. Make you use up some clock, but also make you try to make that errant pass so they can at least get a hand on it.
Shot clock is down to 10 as Jamel Thomas holds 25, 26 feet away. Shamgod got to do something now. He glances up at the shot clock and says, ooh. The steal forced by Tuomu. Iverson.
No call.
That was last touched by the left hand of Iverson.
Are they letting him play, Mike, or what?
Just a little bit.
Oh, my goodness. As he went behind his back, certainly he had Tuomu open over there, and he did not pass the ball, but there was a little bit of contact.
In 16 minutes, Iverson just 1 of 3 shooting. Shamgod breaks the pressure with his dribble. Sets up Crozier. That was 2. Austin has 6. The lead is back to 11. It's been as big as 12.
Much better job by the freshman Shamgod to be able to make that pass and break the pressure.
Bad pass by the freshman Damon Jackson. Jamel Thomas saves it to Jerome Williams. Outruns Michael Brown down to the rack for 2.
But that for a 6'9" player. Not only did he handle the ball in traffic, but he kept the defender on his right side, the ball on his left, and slightly kissed it off the glass.
Almost you get across midcourt, you go, okay, now I can think again. You do have to play them in 2 parts, don't you?
You certainly do. And that's every team that plays against the Hoyas, because you don't want to turn the ball over. You don't want the pressure to rattle you, but you have to get it in the front court so that you can initiate your offense.
Michael Brown full of pop. He has 5, averaging 11.5 a game. The lead is back to 11 at the 3-minute mark. Kenny Mayne standing by for halftime.
Nice decision by Michael Brown to split the defense.
Whoa! Iverson from the deck. It's his 2nd triple of the night. 2 for 4 shooting, has 6. Friars +8.
That's one way to get it done.
He has not had anything easy tonight, and that's really what you have to do defensively against him.
And I think every team in the conference realizes that if you contain Allen Iverson, you're not going to stop him. He's going to get his points, but you want his field goal percentage to be low. And if you're able to do that, you can slow the Hoyas down, which will give you a chance to win.
To the shot clock as Thomas launches. That one ricocheting off the glass. Michael Brown gets the rebound. Nice work by Shamgod. Crozier gets in the paint, but travels. The Friars turn it over, and the Hoyas have a chance to get it down to 6 or 5.
Rushing just a little bit too much after that offensive rebound. Allen Iverson is still working very, very hard. He's in the corner. He's going to get this shot over before Michael Brown's able to get to him, but you're right. No way does he get a clean look at that basket.
As we approach 2 minutes, the Friars, who have led by as many as 12, see it down to 8. Harrington turned away. Iverson hit from there before, and hits again. A 3-pointer for Iverson. He has 9.
We're seeing those soft rims that we talked about earlier. Iverson able to find the front back inside, and the ball's going in.
Tuomu on the steal. Brown got a piece. 2-on-1. Shamgod, what are you doing?
He's a freshman. Come on.
Look out.
It's getting dangerous out there.
Crozier wide open, but good reaction by Georgetown. Settle down.
Good reaction by the Friars. Everything's getting a little out of kilter. Slow it down. Face the basket. Don't approach your basket with your back or your side to it.
Shot clock at 15. Cutter Michael Brown.
Find the seam. There it is. Get it inside. Get a quick look.
He has 7. We'll see if the Hoyas go 2 for 1 in our final 53 seconds. Michael Brown, the rebound.
Boy, the Hoyas, they wanted to go 3 or 4 for 1. Try to get that shot quickly and an offensive rebound.
Friars lead by 7. There is a 14-second differential game and shot clock. Shamgod on Tuomu.
He's going between his legs, between his jersey.
Carries it down the lane and gets fouled by Tuomu. The second on Joseph. And Derek, the amazing thing, when you play Georgetown, you figure you're going to have to give up some fouls. Providence, 4 fouls in the first half.
That is outstanding. That is called control and poise. And Pete Gillen said it's very important that his team not get caught up in the emotion of playing the Hoyas.
So Shamgod goes to the line. God Shammgod, who has not scored in his last 3 halves. He didn't score at all against Notre Dame, and that was the first time in his career that the freshman was shut out. Zabilski for Crozier, trying to protect some of the offensive guns on the defensive end. Crozier picked up no fouls in the first half.
Shamgod is a showman. He, in high school, he went to LaSalle Academy in New York, and in one game against St. Raymond's, he scored 45 points and had 21 assists.
Wow. Kenny Mayne coming up at halftime. We'll check what's going on with Wayne Gretzky, the Big Ten in action, Michigan State on ESPN, and some baseball news as the camps are open. Kenny coming up in 25 seconds, an 8-point Providence lead.
Very important, if you're a Friar fan, for the Friars to contain Allen Iverson and also to stop them from crashing the offensive board. You know he's going to put the ball on the floor. Somebody has to seal off, but Georgetown needs a basket here.
Nichols. I don't know if that was a shot or a pass. Derek Brown, good if it goes. Iverson, 3 threes, had 9 points, but was frustrated by some good Providence defense. If you're a Friar fan, can't ask for a better half. They lead by 8. Kenny Mayne's coming up at the half as we continue.
ESPN News presentation of NCAA.
At the break by 8, and Derek Dickey. Allen Iverson, a very frustrating first half, even though he has a third of the Hoyas' 27 points.
Well, Allen only took 6 shots in that first half, and he normally takes about 10 shots a half, but I thought the Friars did an excellent job defensively. What Pete Gillen has asked 2 of his players, he's asked Michael Brown to do a job of just mirroring Iverson. Don't let him out of your sight. Don't even worry about getting a rebound. Stay as close to him as you can. God Shammgod, the same thing, a freshman who did an outstanding job of just trying to wear the jersey of Allen Iverson. How about the frustration on Iverson's part? He comes up with the steal trying to get something, but again, he's got a defensive man right in his face.
Allen Iverson, 3 of 6 from the field, all 3-pointers. No dribble penetration for Iverson. Georgetown struggled, shooting just 37% against BC their last game, 36% here, and you see the turnover battle. Georgetown's been turned over 12 times. And one of the more amazing stats, as you look at Iverson's perimeter-only first half, Providence 4 team fouls in the first half, 3 on Ruben Garces. Derek Brown, quick overreaction to the Georgetown half-court pressure, and here come the Hoyas. They turn it over, so a turnover apiece to start the second half.
Both teams coming out a little pumped up, and they want to try to make something happen quickly. But I think if Providence is able to be patient, and Pete Gillen is a patient coach, going to tell his players to keep moving it around.
3 possessions, 3 turnovers in the first half, in the first 30 seconds of the second half. This is the first of our hoop doubleheader. Coming up next, huge one in the ACC. North Carolina and Wake Forest in Winston-Salem. North Carolina wins, then Georgia Tech can clinch the ACC tournament top seed tomorrow. Coming up next on the Deuce. First the Big East, and Boubacar Al missing. Harrington the rebound over Garces.
Excellent job by the wide body Othello Harrington, who comes up with that offensive rebound. 6'9", about 250, able to clear enough space to get that left-handed jump hook in.
He has 8. Providence able to get past the pressure. Look out, Michael Brown. Great call, and Ted Valentine right at the midcourt line. Brown pivoted with his left foot and his right foot across the center circle.
Give Allen Iverson and the Hoya pressure credit for forcing this turnover. Too close to the line. Look at the right foot right there. Great job by our crew to be able to pick that up. Another turnover forced by the Hoyas.
Our producers Tom Archer, director John McDonough, as we work here in the Civic Center in Providence. Sold out for a senior night and a huge game for the Friars.
You want to talk about Tom Archer being a Friar?
I wasn't going to mention that. Iverson connects, and the Friars' lead is cut to 3.
John Thompson has recognized something, that the Friars are not sending a defensive man up as the high screen is being set for Iverson to be able to get that shot off.
Providence not dealing with the pressure in this half as well as they did in the first. Here's Shamgod and the foul. Big hoop there, Derek. Providence is a little out of sync, and the freshman Gets his first field goal in some 60 minutes of action.
The Hoyas are doing such a good job of pressuring out front that the guards are not able to get back quickly enough, and the inside people, Othello Harrington, is not able to react quickly, and that's where Shamgod is going to come in. Great reaction after he splits the defense and makes that basket.
Foul was on Othello Harrington, his first. Shamgod now 1 of 3 at the line. The Friar lead is 5. Iverson feeling it. All the way around. Rebound, Harrington.
Excellent timing by Harrington to be able to come up with another offensive rebound and put it back in the board.
Harrington has 10 now in double digits once again. Passes break the pressure that time. Austin Crozier had just 6 in the first half. 16 points a game. The leading Friar scorer gets a little bit more on track to start the second half.
Very unusual. You see your biggest player on the court, 6'9", out on the perimeter, but Crozier is a very good outside shooter and will back up sometimes to take that shot if he's open.
Page answers with a 3 for the Hoyas. Georgetown shooting much better out of the gate here in the second half, and the lead is down to 2 for the Friars.
Hoyas come out with an excellent game plan. They're going to look to move the ball just a little bit quicker. Iverson has to give the ball up. If he does that, it's going to make the Hoyas a better team.
Providence struggled early, then handled the zone in the first half. See how they do here.
Someone needs to split the team.
And the Hoyas a chance to tie. Iverson will do the duty. Here's Brown on the rebound. That's a foul on Page, who gave Derek Brown no room. Look out, words here between Derek Brown and Victor Page.
Victor Page was bodying Derek Brown all the way up the court, and right at the end of that play, Derek Brown throws a little elbow, and then after the play is completely over, you're going to see Brown go. Watch the left arm. Watch the right arm. I'm sorry. Watch the right arm as this play ends. See that little wraparound?
Yep.
That's where a little bit of extra contact was made, and after the play, the players got in each other's face.
And the fans very vociferous. John Thompson walked all the way down to the other side just to make sure nothing happened. Calmed his players down and brought him back over to the sideline. And the Friar fans wanted a technical for Thompson being out of the coach's box. And now Tim Valentine down to have a word with the Hoya coach.
I think he's going to tell him just that. Coach, we got everything under control. You stay in your box. Coach Gillen stays in his box. We keep the players under control. We got a game.
So the personal is on Page. He picks up his second foul, second team foul on the Hoyas.
Players have to find a way to break this pressure.
Harrington got in the face of Crozier. Oh. Mano a mano, and he wasn't going to get to the hole.
But I like what Crozier did. He wasn't hesitant. He was not going in there with anything weak. He wanted to turn that ball over and dunk the ball.
Now Austin outside for 3.
The co-captain is stepping up. He's tightening up his shoes and his belt. He says, come on, Harrington. Come out and get me.
Nice skip pass by Al to Page. The Hoyas, a red-hot start to the second half.
Well, the Hoyas did not shoot the ball very well in that first half. Only 38% from the field. You knew it was going to change.
Offensive foul on Shamgod. Iverson showing some emotion along with Victor Page. Official timeout. Hoyas heating up. Building heating up. 2-point game. Is hit 5 in the first 4 minutes of the second half.
Well, they're doing a better job of moving the ball, and Victor Page has spot up a couple of times behind the arc. How about the sophomore, Allen Iverson? Excellent defense. He has not been much of a factor offensively in this game, but he feels like he can make some other things happen just by being out there on the floor. Great reaction.
Victor Page, Allen Iverson, freshman and sophomore backcourt for the Hoyas. Leading the emotion of this team, you see 9 of the 13 in this half coming from 20 feet and beyond. There's Page working inside. Williams tried to save it, but his foot was on the end line. Says Joe Mingler.
Pete Gillen made a substitution. He brought Sabilski out there on the court to try to give some size inside. Maybe get an extra hand here, use up an extra foul.
Sabilski in for Ruben Garces. Derek Brown catches, breaking the pressure, and a foul on Jerome Williams, who had a hand on DB.
Take a look at the big guy, Fyodor Sabilski. 6 foot 10 inches, holding up his own in the middle.
It's 3 now on Williams. So Williams has 3 for Georgetown. Ruben Garces on the Providence bench has 3, and a 20-second timeout taken by Providence as God Shammgod could not inbound.
The Hoyas once again with their pressure all over in the half-court set.
Well, the action is physical here tonight and will be physical on the Deuce this time tomorrow. But on skates, fire on ice, the Boston Bruins and the New York Rangers. 7:30 Eastern. Rangers, best record in the East, 2nd overall. The Bruins, could they miss the playoffs for the first time since 1967? They're 2 points out of the final spot in the Eastern Conference. Fire on ice tomorrow night on ESPN2. And, of course, the NHL tonight with Bill Pito at 11:30 Eastern, Tuesday through Saturday. Sports Center for the hockey fan. Well, you better force one in now, Shamgod, and then find Sabilski. Derek Brown gets...
Did he get a walk?
Slugged.
No.
Something had to happen. It wasn't intentional by Harrington. He just had his arms out, and Derek Brown just ran right into 6'9" Harrington. 2 on Othello. 4 on the Hoyas here in the first 4.5 minutes.
14 foul. You mentioned in the first half that the Friars only had 14 fouls. They only had 1 in this second half.
Boy, it is so hard to inbound from underneath the basket you're shooting at with these Hoyas, especially for Shamgod, a smaller player. Tough to see over Jerome Williams.
Shamgod probably needs to step back. You can do that. You can't move left or right because it can be a travel if you pick up your pivot foot, but you can step back 1 or 2 steps.
For the uninitiated, you can only run the baseline out of bounds after a made basket.
Oh. Shamgod was not ready for that pass.
Iverson right in his face. Jamel Thomas forces one. Will stay with the Friars.
Thomas trying to make something happen here. He forced that shot. First half, he made a couple good shots because the rotation was made with the ball, and he had a shot with nobody in his face. That time, he had 2 guys right around him.
Whistle by Ted Valentine. I don't know when he wants to check. You saw the shot clock pop in immediately because it didn't hit the rim, at least on first appearance for me.
Not even close.
Yeah. 9 seconds remain on the shot clock.
I don't know if he wanted to move that mascot.
I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to check the replay, I believe. It would be a correctable error if they wanted to check the replay screen. Yes, they are. So, Ted Valentine, here comes the replay. They want to make sure it did not hit the rim, thus forcing the shot clock reset.
Jamel Thomas takes his shot, and from that angle, it hits the bottom of the backboard. It does not even come close to the rim. From the angle we had, we saw it perfectly. It was not close.
Ball glancing off the bottom of the backboard. Maybe all the officials were screened out and just saw the odd carom off the bottom of the backboard.
This mascot underneath the board. Maybe he's gotten away or something. I don't know. Take a look at this second angle. It's still tough to see from there, but from the angle you and I have, Michael, it was very easy to see the ball did not touch the rim.
That is right on line there. So I think Ted Valentine wants to see it one more time. Once again, correctable errors include shot clock and game clock, so you can look at this to determine if it hit the rim. And John Thompson now walking down to Ted Valentine.
He's resetting.
Oh
boy.
John Thompson took off his glasses and walked down to Ted Valentine and said, "Do you need a better look, Ted?" Reset shot clock now, and Frazier has it for the Friars. Shamgod is denied. Harrington's playing good interior defense this half. Here come the Hoyas with the advantage. Boubacar Al, not a ball handler. Oh, we're pushing and shoving again. It's getting real chippy out here behind the play. Jerome Williams involved.
It is going to happen in the this kind of emotion on it. Players from both sides, especially inside, because it has gotten very, very physical.
The steal by Michael Brown. Shamgod wants to go. He has no numbers. And Yaya just said, sit down.
The only numbers he had was the ball smashed across his face as he's going to try to take it to the basket. Number one, do not go in there with 3 defenders around you. This is an excellent steal by Michael Brown, who gives it up to the freshman, and he wants to try to make something happen a little bit too bad.
And quickly off the inbound, the Hoyas pick up a 5th team foul in the first 5.5 minutes. Boubacar Al has picked up his 3rd, so Jerome Williams and Al have 3. Boy, the Friars have spent most of this half inbounding from this baseline.
And they've had trouble doing that. And look at the pressure that the Hoyas are playing. They're playing back. They're forcing Providence to move back another step. What they need to do is send someone quickly, diagonally to the basket. You might have a chance for a layup.
You use the backcourt, which you can do, and I was surprised they didn't do earlier. Jamel Thomas will bring it up.
Did you notice Thomas? He was actually looking at the line. He was very smart about not catching it, carrying it into the backcourt. He let it bounce first.
Good point, Derek. Here's Crozier.
You have to like the release that Austin Crozier had. He is shooting the ball with an awful lot of confidence.
He has 8 of the Friars' 10 in this half. Iverson for 3. With an answer.
Whoa! Allen Iverson right back at you. He's not able to get any penetration, but he is feeling some confidence behind that three-point arc.
He has 15, all three-pointers. Friars by 2. 6 minutes gone by. Nice look for Sabilski. Harrington picks up his 3rd.
That was an excellent no-look pass inside by Jamel Thomas. He has the ball in the corner. He makes a dribble outside, but he throws it back over. Look at this no-look pass. He gets the ball inside. Sabilski catches the ball, and he's going to take it right up to the basket.
So 3 on Harrington, 3 on Al, and 3 on Williams. Their entire starting front line, 3 personals. Sabilski will get 1 more. He hit his 2 free throws in the first half.
If I'm the Friars, I'm going to keep attacking the inside. The Hoyas' leading shot blocker, Othello Harrington, is going out of the game. They have a couple other guys with 2 and 3 fouls. Why not keep trying to take it in there?
Jahidi White replaces Harrington. Pete Gillen has to be thrilled what he's getting out of Sabilski. 4 points from his tallest player.
He may also be thrilled with the fact that Allen Iverson is shooting threes.
Are you kidding me? It almost went down. Crozier just able to save it for PC.
Iverson is what, 4 or 5 steps behind the line?
Shamgod kept the dribble alive.
Intentional foul. Jamel Thomas.
Thomas had picked up a technical earlier. And now they're doing as good a job as possible to separate both teams as they take their little huddle after the intentional foul on Thomas, who's had a tough night. Very emotional, both sides. And Thomas trying to hit Crozier top of the key.
Well, Iverson gets a piece of this ball, and look at he actually picks him up and throws him down, and that kind of play is certainly not necessary in a game like this with all the emotion. And you mentioned he did get that technical foul in the first half. He could have been ejected from the game for that.
You're absolutely right. Take a seat on the bench. Technical foul is 2 shots and the ball.
You want to win the game, there's no question about it, but you don't need plays like that to try to gain an advantage.
So Iverson, the 66% shooter, gets his first points from inside of 20 feet tonight.
3rd in the nation in steals. This young man, if he doesn't come up with the ball, he always has his hand around it so he can at least get a tip away.
Hoyas down 3, and they keep the ball. Clearly, that was the correct call with the intentional foul. The rule states not making a play for the ball, and Thomas was doing nothing with the short.
Well, he's making a play for Allen Iverson's jersey, trying to stop a break.
Where's the chance to tie? Oh, Williams left foot on the sideline.
Technical foul on John Thompson.
And you know what? Thompson out of the box. He's going to get a second one here if he's not real careful.
Ted Valentine came from the opposite side as he saw Thompson throw his towel down.
And you know what John did? John was frustrated with his own player. Wasn't mad at the call at all. And Valentine, trying to protect his fellow official, came over from the other side.
You're absolutely right. It had nothing to do with the officials. He was extremely upset with Jerome Williams for turning the ball over in a situation where the Hoyas could have gotten back in this game.
Crozier, the fourth best free throw shooter in the conference, hits them both. And John will take a 20-second timeout.
Boy, Crozier has had some outstanding games this season for the Friars. Against BC, 9 points, 11 rebounds. Against Rutgers, 24 points. Against Seton Hall, 23 and 8. So he's put up some big numbers.
If that was me, you would have thrown me out. That's what Gillen just said to Joe Mingle. Let's get a look at what happened on the technical foul.
Well, take a look. We're going to see the end of this play. A travel on the outside by Jerome Williams. And with John Thompson throwing the towel down, he is angry. Look at him. He's looking at Williams. He's not looking at the officials. Now he realizes the technical foul is called. He's saying, I'm mad at my players. It has nothing to do with you.
Well, coming into this season, I remember the day after Election Day being at Big East Media Day, and John and Jim Boeheim and the veteran coaches in the conference said, Jimmy Calhoun as well, this year the Big East is back with quality of teams. The same kind of feel in the building for big games is back this year in the Big East.
Yes, it is.
We saw it at USA Arena 8 days ago. UConn, Georgetown. At the Spectrum as Iverson picked up the foul.
Well, we mentioned at the beginning of our show that the Big East has a chance if Providence can actually play well, win out, can win a couple games in the Big East tournament to maybe put 6 teams in the NCAA tournament this season.
And every year since the field has been 64, a conference has gotten 6 teams into the tournament. That's the 8th team foul on Thompson's team, so Providence will shoot free throws most of the rest of the way.
And the Friars only 2 personal fouls, team fouls in this half.
And 6. Wow. 6 for the game. 6 in some 28 minutes against Georgetown.
Against Georgetown, that's the thing. I mean, against any other team, you might say, okay, but against a team that's as aggressive as the Hoyas are. And Allen Iverson, all of his points except for the 1 free throw have been outside the 3-point arc. No layups, no dunks, everything on the perimeter.
Iverson wants it. Finds White.
3 seconds.
Foul on the Friars. They got Zabilski inside.
I thought there was at least 3 or 4 seconds in the paint. Not only did he catch the ball inside, he put it on the floor, and then Jahidi White was able to get it up to the basket. Allen Iverson, what about the defense? Take a look at how many players are around him. There's 3 directly around him, and as he's able to dish that ball off, White catches it in traffic and able to get to the free throw line. Much better presence by Allen Iverson.
50% free throw shooter. The sophomore will get 1 more. Michael Brown sits down as Jason Murdoch checked in for the Friars.
Gillen saying, guys, get this rebound. Wow.
Page got it, tied up by Derek Brown. It stays with the Hoyas on the arrow.
Victor Page actually turned 360 the opposite way. His man was trying to pin him out outside. Watch, he's on the left side of the free throw lane. Look at him make a reverse pivot, come inside, come up with this offensive rebound. That's great athleticism.
Hoyas to inbound, down 7. Page wide open for 3. Rebound before Jerome Williams got the board on Derek Brown. So the Hoyas get a couple of chances down here, but Providence has fouls to burn. Just the first on Derek Brown.
Providence has to do a better job of rebounding defensively because the Hoyas, excellent offensive rebounding team. They're going to get the offensive inside position. Jerome Williams, Othello Harrington, they've gotten their hands on a lot of offensive rebounds here in this second half.
Off the inbounds, it's Iverson again. Thomas the rebound, and Jamel has to play with some caution. He has one technical and one intentional foul here tonight.
Thomas is going to be a very exciting player for the Friars for a lot of years. Great athletic ability.
Nice cut by Murdoch. Sabelski!
Jason Murdoch does a tremendous job of dribble penetration.
Sabelski picks up his second personal foul. No free throws. 14th foul on the Friars and an official timeout. The Friars have scored the last 6. Sheldon Hughes, sophomore Peter Sabelski gets off his feet and brings the fans to their feet. Fourth-rated UConn Huskies came up to Providence and saw the slashing of Michael Brown in the inside power game of senior Troy Brown. The Friars with Pete Gillen's biggest win at PC, 72-70. And then in an 11-day span, the Hoyas, or rather the Friars, go on to beat Villanova, 12th ranked at the time, and Syracuse, 20th ranked at the time. Will a win over 8th ranked Georgetown start another run? They're up 9. Inside of 12 minutes left, second half.
Well, in 6 tries, they've only beaten one nationally ranked team, and that was BC.
Joseph Tuomu misfires on the 3. Murdoch all over Williams. Harrington inside will go to the line.
How about the power, the strength, the muscle of the Hoyas inside? Jerome Williams, Othello Harrington owning the offensive glass. This is just excellent hustle. You see Joseph Tuomu taking the outside shot, but Williams comes up with this ball, and he's trying to get it up, but nothing's there. But the power of Othello Harrington, grasping that ball and able to power it back up to the rim.
Ruben Garces just walked through your screen as Pete Sabelski sits down with 6 points, the most points he's scored in the last 9 prior games. Here's Harrington. In the act of shooting, he'll get a second.
Just about anybody on this team, except for Harrington and except for Victor Page, if you're Pete Gillen, you want to foul them late in the game and send them to the free throw line. But the Hoyas as a team only shoot 62% from the free throw line.
Othello has 12. That's right about his average. First point since the technical foul on John Thompson. Pressure turned up by the Hoyas and broken by the Friars. Shamgod lost it. Derek Brown tried to finish, but was fouled.
Nice poise, good control by the Friars to be able to break that pressure. A lot of people were holding their breath as the Friars got it inbounds underneath the Hoyas basket.
That's 4 on Harrington. So a big moment in this game with the 11:21 left. Othello picks up his 4th foul.
That could change the complexion of this game. We still have over 11 minutes to go. And I'm sure Pete Gillen is going to say, guys, let's keep trying to attack inside.
Derek Brown fouled in the act of shooting. 76% shooter gets 1 more. Frustrated Harrington. Brown has 5. Now Harrington must watch as his team tries to dig out of an 8-point hole.
Pressure by the Friars.
The steal by Shamgod.
This is what this crowd wanted. They wanted to turn the tables on the Hoyas.
The Friars lead by 10. 6-foot Shamgod gets all the way up.
Presenting the...
We look forward to the start. start of championship week. Year 11. Championship week started 10 years ago tonight with Sun Belt quarterfinal. Old Dominion and UNC Charlotte. My, what it's thrown into.
If you like basketball, if you love basketball, you are glued to your television next week. Starting this weekend.
Hoyas will have 14 to shoot. Remember, Othello Harrington on the bench with 4 personal fouls. Page is long. God Shammgod protects.
Show some patience, but don't get conservative. Bring the ball up under your own pace and look for the best shot.
Thomas had a shot, didn't see it. And the steal by Williams. Here comes Jerome Williams. Iverson bumped on the way. He'll get free throws as the Friars are now over the limit.
Still no clear path to the basket for Allen Iverson. Every time he touches the ball, you're going to see 2, 3, even 4 defenders stand in front of him. How about Iverson? Watch when he gets the ball going close to the basket. There's 1, there's 2. 3 defenders converge on him.
They all got to him eventually, which is amazing. We'll get one more 66% shooter. As Othello watches, Allen Iverson has to carry the offensive load the rest of the way. Harrington 4 personal fouls.
Like the left arm of Allen Iverson, the tattoo, born to be a lottery pick.
Already has the tat working. 8-point lead. Gotta break the press in pieces, and Providence didn't do it there.
You gotta catch it as Garces was going up. He's thinking about how he's gonna lay it up, how he's gonna dunk it. You gotta catch the ball first.
Pete Gillen wanted a timeout. The ball was already inbounded, and Allen Iverson nearly ran over Gillen. It was a little bit across the sideline. Halfway through now, second half. Iverson, long 3. Derek Brown has numbers. Jason Murdoch. Back it out would be the right move here, and Shamgod does.
Great hustle on the offensive glass. Shamgod.
Thomas gets rid of Jerome Williams, who's 9 inches taller than the Providence point guard. Now Thomas tried to get fancy with the no-look. Look at Iverson. Nice feed for Page. Garces got a peek and knocked it out of bounds.
A little bit of contact underneath. There was an excellent pass by Allen Iverson.
Pete Gillen will use the second of his 3 timeouts. Tempo's going back a little bit towards the Hoyas. 8-point Friar lead.
Ice against the fastest, most nimble.
While you were away, John Thompson was sent away, picking up a second technical foul, and he's been ejected. Here's what happened while we were in break. Derek. Thompson was not going to get the second technical foul. Tom Loach was going to let him go until John's language became off color. And the Providence Friar All-American class of 1964, with a glare back to a foul-mouthed Providence fan above the runway. I hope that the Providence Civic Center is one of the 30 million homes that gets the deuce, because that's where John will watch the rest of the game. Crozier will get one more. So it'll go over to the assistants. Craig Esherick just walked out of the picture. 14 years with John Thompson. Will take over as the head coach.
We've seen some momentum changes this past weekend. How about Calipari getting thrown out against GW? Bob Huggins getting thrown out against Tulane this past weekend. So let's see what happens with Georgetown. If Thompson getting thrown out of the game is going to ignite this team, maybe it was good. Well, I got a feeling the momentum is going to shift into the Friars' court, because the Hoyas would have had that ball.
Instead, Providence made the 2 free throws, but had the turnover. So there is Craig Esherick. It's his game now. Mike Riley, also a 12-year Georgetown assistant on the sidelines. He will make the decisions with Fred. Iverson still hasn't hit a two-point field goal tonight.
Tried to get some penetration inside, but his path was cut off.
But he's hit 3 after 3. That's his 6th 21 points for the sophomore, who is clearly a Big East and National Player of the Year candidate.
Well, if that's what you're going to give me, you're not going to let me go inside. I'll take what you're going to give me.
Derek Brown, a rebound. Narcissus over the back. Harrington with 4 fouls, right in there fighting. Iverson yelling at Nichols, says, give me the ball.
Make the extra pass. Allen Iverson needs to continue to move the ball.
Victor Page, his 4th 3 of the night. And it's a 4-point Providence lead with 8 minutes left.
Here come the Hoyas back. It's all it takes, 1 or 2 plays sometimes. John Thompson's ejection might be that play to get the Hoyas back on track and into this game.
Crozier back in the game. Narcissus snatches the rebound.
Oh, wow, what a great job by Ruben Garces. Not only did he want the ball this time, he wanted to put it back in the basket. He ripped it away and kept his composure.
He has 6. The lead is 6. Nichols. Harrington double-teamed. Murdoch comes away with the rebound.
I thought Harrington used both arms that time to try to get an advantage. Could have been and should have been called for his 5th foul.
It's funny, you can call a foul at almost every miss tonight. Derek Brown. Crozier the rebound. Nice by Page, who lost it on the way in.
We've seen a couple of swings of momentum here in this game.
As you watch Murdoch check out, to our left, Craig Esherick, the assistant coach, was just told by Tom Lopes, one of the official who tossed John Thompson, to settle down.
You can't throw all the assistants out.
Harrington, tough shot. Othella Harrington has 14, and the lead is 4.
Good poise by Othella to be able to take that shot right within rhythm.
Shamgod breaks midcourt with a second to spare. Michael Brown's very tough shot. Hoyas can get it to 2 or 1 with an Iverson 3. Foul, is that Harrington? He's gone.
He's gone. Allen Iverson reminds me of a snake as he's winding his way up court, looking for that outside shot. As he takes the shot, it hits the top of the backboard. His teammate, Othella Harrington, fighting for the rebound, picks up his last foul of the game.
Double-double for Othella. And here's number 5.
Well, we've seen him get a little more contact in there with nothing called. This time, that's one of those little touch fouls that the officials have been calling, but this spot goes against the Hoyas.
Ruben Garces knew it right away. Also, 3 blocks to add to the stat line of the senior Harrington. Garces, who's just a 41% free throw shooter, will go to the line.
Harrington leaving the game, that's taking a couple of things out of the Hoyas lineup. One, he's their best shot blocker. He's also their second best rebounder. But another thing is that he's their best free throw shooter. So the momentum is definitely going to shift now with John Thompson out and with the senior, Othella Harrington out.
Just the second game Harrington's fouled out of. Garces missed them both. Crozier was held by All. Saved. Back to Shamgod.
Austin Crozier was there to keep that ball in bounds.
North Carolina, Wake Forest to follow. And a great doubleheader tonight on the Deuce. Then the NHL and the NBA tonight. Crozier missed it. Look out. The possession arrow points to the Friars.
Friars finished their season with their last game at Miami on Saturday. The Hoyas finished their season with their last game on Saturday against Villanova without Kerry Kittle.
And Derek, while Georgetown is locked in as the champion in their half of the Big East Conference and the #2 seed, they still have something to play for in a seeding for the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely. They want to still try to win every game. On the season, they're 23-5. If they can get to that 25-win plateau, they have a chance to be maybe, #1, #2 seed, and they want to get as high as they possibly can.
Great cut by the senior Michael Brown, who here on senior night has 9, but has done a great job defensively.
Split the seam of the zone. Find an opening.
Tuomu left alone, and he will hit that shot. 32% three-point shooter.
That's a good look by Joseph Tuomu. The defense did not react to him with the ball out there. He had time to dribble and find the seams and was able to put it in.
3-point lead as we approach 5 minutes left here in Providence. Acting job by Tuomu. The Grammys are tomorrow night, not the Oscars. Michael Brown has 12. Iverson found bodies and finally gets a 2-point field goal.
Is he quick? He is so quick that not only did he go in, try and attempt the shot, make a pass, bounce off his teammate, get it back and put it in the basket. Unbelievable.
Shamgod working on Tuomu. Shot clock backing down to 13. Michael Brown.
We've seen harder fouls than that behind the table.
Iverson ran all the way to the other end of the court after picking up his second personal and the double bonus for Georgetown.
Every foul from this point on is going to be 2 free throws for the Friars.
With the emotion of the night and the pace of the game utterly frenetic, we haven't had a moment to give Michael Brown his proper laudits here on senior night. With his efforts tonight, he is now 22nd on the scoring list, passing Rudy Williams in Providence history. No Big East player in a Friar uniform has won more games than the 34 that Michael Brown has won, plus what will happen tonight. And Derek, here's a kid who played his high school ball in North Syracuse, New York, wasn't recruited heavily at all by Syracuse. He's come in and had a great Big East career.
Outstanding career, and Pete Gillen told me today he wished he had 12 players like Michael Brown, because not only is this an outstanding basketball player, not a great player, he's a good basketball player, but he's a guy who wants to make his teammates better, and he's an accounting major, and he does a lot of things in the community. Just an outstanding young man that has a chance to make a very productive impact in society.
Rick Barnes, now at Clemson, before that here at Providence, recruited Michael Brown and said, love to be in a foxhole with guys like Michael Brown. Special player who is not thinking at all about his final game at Providence right now. Iverson got in there for the rebound, but Crozier pulled it away after the miss on the front end of the 1-on-1. Did not travel. Mo Thomas kept the pivot foot. Thomas. Saved by Tuomu. Steal by Michael Brown.
Michael Brown looks like a defensive back. That's the second or third time he's intercepted a ball going backwards.
Inside of 4, the lead 5. Derek Brown fouled by Jerome Williams. That's Williams' 4th personal foul.
The Hoyas are continuing to extend their defense and force the Friars out around the midcourt line, and then trying to get the guys in the back to come over and attack. That time, Jerome Williams could not get there quickly enough.
We correct that, Jerome Williams' 3rd, not his 4th. Boy, I'm surprised I've lost track of the fouls tonight.
I think we're going to see a few more with over 3.5 minutes still to go in this game.
Providence, a 70% free throw shooting team, has done a representative job. I think would be the best term to describe it at the line tonight.
Yes.
1 of 2 two for Derek Brown. Williams the rebound.
The Friars realize they're going to go to the free throw line. 50% from the line is not going to win this game. They have to convert at least 9 out of 10 of those free throws.
Iverson trying to basically do it on his own. See if anybody will help him out. Michael Brown in his jersey, and finally picks up the foul. And remarkably, Brown, who's had Iverson almost all game, is first.
Oh, boy, that's just terrific defense. Michael Brown, as well as God Shammgod, have both done a terrific job on Allen Iverson throughout the entire evening. And how about Brown on Allen Iverson? He's going to try to just mirror him. Stay with him as best he can. Right there, as he reaches in, that's where he's going to pick up that foul.
And a nice job by Nichols, too, shielding for his guard Iverson.
Iverson's looking to come around that screen to find a clearing so he can take another three-point shot. You mentioned has not made a two-point field goal in this game. Well, he has made one. That's right, he did. But he has attempted, 5 or 6 shots behind that arc.
25 points. As Harrington cheers on from the bench. If you're just joining us, Othello Harrington fouled out a couple of minutes ago. Friars by 4. The Hoyas have never led tonight.
Tuomo gives you an awful lot of looks, an awful lot of motion.
And we got a piece of Shamgod on the way in.
How about the freshman? This is a freshman. God Shammgod out of New York. Look at the balance and the poise that he's showing as he's breaking the pressure. Tuomo is right there with him as he's turning the corner, but he doesn't let up in time. He does draw that foul. Shamgod goes to the line again.
A little below his free throw percentage on the season.
He's got a little too much mustard on the ball as he's spinning it and thinking about what he's doing, and just shoot the ball in the basket.
He'll get one more. Lead is 5 with 3:16 left. John Thompson ejected with 2 technicals. Othello Harrington is fouled out. Jamel Thomas of Providence has a technical and an intentional foul. Allen Iverson will go to the line, trying to add to his 25-point total.
Michael Brown once again just trying to keep Iverson in front of him. Make him go east to west. Don't let him turn that corner. Iverson was able to get a head and shoulder right there by Michael Brown and force another foul.
It is 2 free throws, not 1 and 1, because that is the 10th foul in the half on the Friars. Iverson 26. 6 of those 7 3-pointers. So 6 3-pointers, 1 2-pointer. He's added 7 free throws to that.
What an awful lot of confidence. He steps to the free throw line, and on the season he's shooting less than 70%, 67%, but he's a money player at the end of the game. He wants to be on the line so he can make that play.
Friars by 3, 3 minutes left on the deuce. Mike Tirico, Derek Dickey in Providence. Many feel a must-win for the Friars' NCAA tournament hopes. Nice look to Derek Brown.
What a terrific take off the dribble by the freshman, Jamel Thomas, who gets inside, draws the defense, and the dish on the baseline.
Iverson lost Michael Brown. They just reset him and let him go after somebody else. Ow, and Brown fight for it. Last touch by Boubacar Ow.
You have to love the hustle by the senior, Michael Brown. He's had to work all evening trying to keep Allen Iverson in front of him, but he still wants that extra possession.
Iverson was signaling for a timeout, but he decided to wave it off momentarily, and now will take the timeout. 2:28 left. On senior night, Michael Brown's done a great job on D to help the Friars. Friars by 5. Friars old and new getting it done.
Well, Pete Gillen is going with 2 first-year guys for him. Jamel Thomas, a freshman. Derek Brown, a junior college transfer. And how about the senior, Michael Brown? He is doing an excellent job. He's hustling after every ball. He wants to keep possession of this ball so that the Friars can maintain their momentum.
A reminder, coming up after this game on ESPN2, we send you down to the ACC for North Carolina and Wake Forest. 2 of the top 3 in the conference. If the Tar Heels win it, then Georgia Tech has a chance to clinch the top seed in the ACC tournament with a win tomorrow night at Florida State. We'll take you to Winston-Salem as soon as we're done here in Rhode Island. We've got a long way to go.
We certainly do. Going to be a few stoppages of clock as this game winds down. Certainly players are going to be going to the free throw line.
And each team can foul, so every foul the rest of the way is 2 free throws. Shot clock at 15. Shamgod gives it up to Jamel Thomas. Thomas works on Al. Tough shot. John wrestled it away from Crozier.
Well, we saw 2 freshmen there, Jamel Thomas with the ball at crunch time, and also God Shammgod making the decision for Pete Gillen's team.
Tuomu drives all the way. Crozier onto the shot, but the rebound basket for Yaya Ja.
That's the first impact that Ja has had in this game. Did not do very much in the first half. Comes up not only with the offensive rebound, but puts it back in the basket.
Georgetown just 9 points out of the forward spot tonight. 3-point game, 80 seconds left.
The Friars cannot get conservative here. They still need to continue. The Hoyas have gone to a man-to-man defense.
Shamgod all the way.
Excellent take off the dribble by God Shammgod. Not only did he hesitate, he used the clock. The steal by Derek Brown. Ahead of the field, he danced.
Michael Brown, the foul. Providence.
You turn your back on the Hoyas after you make a basket, they will come right back at you. This is just an outstanding heads-up play by God Shammgod. He realized that Tuomu is on him and no defense is behind him. How about Derek Brown coming up with the steal, and he sees nobody in front of him. He's going to take the ball all the way down for the easy stuff.
Boy, Derek, did Michael Brown do a great job of fighting through that pick.
Tremendous job.
Just to get his body back in front of Iverson and allow Derek Brown, who you see there, to be quick-handed.
Hoyas need to score some points. They need free throws without the clock moving so they can get back in this game. Watch the press after this free throw.
Allen has 28, 2-possession game. The lead is 6. Hoyas have 2 timeouts left and the possession arrow in their favor. Foul on Al. Well done in breaking the press there.
Outstanding job, because first of all, you send somebody to the ball. Then you split the defense. You run quickly up the court. Get the ball in bounds. Get it to the middle and fly. You got a chance. You got numbers. You have a chance to score some points. You also want to try to get the ball in the front court without turning it over.
2 free throws for Shamgod, who has 10 points after not scoring in his last game.
This could be a tremendous feather in the cap of the Friars, keeping their hopes alive for an NCAA tournament bid.
Jamel Thomas gets the rebound and got fouled. Tuomu may have gotten
an elbow or a finger in the eye.
Yeah, I think he got a finger as Jamel Thomas went for the rebound, but that is one of the more miraculous recoveries as Tuomu gets up right away.
Yes, he did. He was on the floor. He looked like he was really hurt.
On a night when there have been a couple of intentional things, that was not.
I was kind of holding my breath, hoping that Thomas did not commit another intentional foul out there. More on the bench indicating to the trainer that he's okay.
Thomas at the line for 2. Five players for Providence in double figures. Thomas now has 10. The Friars lead by 8. We'll come back for the final 48 and change after this.
Are you doing scores?
Let's update the reset. Providence, the only team with the ability to stop the clock. Georgetown now out of timeouts. And they have the possession arrow in their favor. But they're down 8 are the Hoyas, and the Friars have a free throw coming with 48.4 seconds left. 76-68.
Well, the Friars can stop the clock with a timeout, but both teams can stop the clock with fouls, and I think we are still going to see a few more fouls.
Jamel Thomas has one more free throw. Lead. 48.4, and Iverson will let every 10th sit in the bank till he needs it. Derek Brown there defensively. Rozier comes away with it. Derek Brown is free on the other end, and so is Jamel Thomas. Fouled. He'll go to the line with 27.8, as you see, left on the clock.
Well, Pete Gillen has to feel awfully good for the senior Michael Brown. This is a tremendous going-away present for him. His last home game in a Friar uniform.
Just reminding these guys, no more fouls. As Iverson will get 2 free throws. Iverson showing some leadership as Boubacar Al is having some words with Ted Valentine. There are lessons to be learned here tonight for Georgetown. You won't play in a more hostile environment the rest of the way.
No, they won't, because the Big East tournament's held at a neutral site in Madison Square Garden, and then the NCAA tournament is coming up. So it's going to be important for the Hoyas, even if they don't win this game, to learn something by this game.
What a pleasure it's been to watch Iverson tonight. He's been tremendous. 30 of the Hoyas 70. 3-possession game. And the Hoyas will foul to try to keep themselves alive.
That's their only hope, to try to stop the clock and hope that the Friars miss some free throws.
Iverson and Jamel Thomas behind the play. I think more of a friendly conversation than anything else as they jaw up and down the court. Remember, guys, you may see each other next week in New York.
I think there may be a chance of that.
ESPN and the Deuce tip to trophy coverage of the Big East and the ACC tournament. And we're going to take you to the ACC momentarily. Well, just about ready to tip North Carolina, Wake Forest. We'll get you there as soon as the Friar fans let go one more time.
Pete Gillen said he intentionally put the senior Michael Brown in the room with God Shammgod on the road so that he kind of rubs off some of that experience and leadership. And I think Shamgod has responded throughout this season. Continued to elevate his game, second in the Big East in assists with over 7 a game.
Derek Brown hits 1 of 2. He has 11. The lead is 10. We'll let Iverson go. 32 for Iverson tonight. What a night. He has 3 of the 4 top scoring games in the Big East this year, including a 40-point effort. But it's interesting, Iverson actually has 3 of the 4 top scoring efforts in Big East games as the Iverson-Thomas dialogue continues.
As it will.
I mentioned Iverson, 3 of the 4 top scoring games, 2 of them Georgetown losses.
Yeah. And I think opponents realize that if Allen Iverson scores big, the rest of the players are not touching the ball.
What Iverson has to become is a more effective passer and set guys up. The offense will come to him.
On senior night, Michael Brown, 15. And something you won't see in the stats, what he did defensively on Iverson. Nichols. And a foul. Iverson will get to add to his point total.
Iverson wanted that in the act of shooting. That's a heads-up play.
So what does this mean to Providence? A 10-point win. They'll improve to 16-9, 9-8 in the conference. Their RPI is 43. Where do you see the Friars situation now, Derek?
Well, I think it certainly can. It's only going to improve with this win. And we talked about it a few minutes ago. Their last game is at Miami. If they finish 10-8 in the conference, they have a great chance to carry that momentum into the tournament. Now, I still think they will have an excellent chance overall with 17 wins to get to the NCAA tournament. We see the Hoyas going in the locker room.
To avoid any problems here, the Providence fans, this is odd. Most of the Hoyas are in the locker room because the fans are going to overrun the court as the final seconds tick off. And you know what? That foul is good just for Michael Brown because Pete Gillen will get a chance to take Michael Brown out. I do believe that. And get the wonderful reception he deserves here in Providence for his final home game.
Don't know if he's going to do that.
Maybe not.
Well, he wants to win the game. That's the bottom line, and he wants to make sure he's in control.
I'll tell you what, if you get the Big East schedule and you see February 27th at Providence, root for one of those Lute Olson snowstorms. Don't get here because Connecticut lost here on the 27th of February, and 365 days later, the 8th-ranked Hoyas will go down.